Good morning, students. Good morning, students. In this lecture series of hydraulics engineering, in last lecture we studied about the laminar flow boundary layer theory. In the fourth chapter, laminar flow and turbulent flow, we are going to discuss about the laminar flow and turbulent flow. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about laminar flow in pipes. Okay, so let's start with the laminar flow in pipes. Flow in pipes is laminar for Reynolds number is less than 2300, and that the flow is fully developed in the pipe if is sufficiently long relative to the entry length so that the entrance effects are negligible. In this section, we consider the steady laminar flow of an incompressible fluid with constant properties in the fully developed region of a straight circular pipe. In fully developed laminar flow, each fluid particle moves at a constant axial velocity along a streamline and the velocity profile UR remains unchanged in the flow direction. There is no motion in the radial direction and thus the velocity component in the direction normal to flow is everywhere 0. There is no acceleration since the flow is steady and fully developed. Okay, so you can see the image where the laminar flow Umax UR resultant force has been shown and the flows has been shown, okay, and the directions has been shown. So consider a ring shaped differential volume element of radius r, thickness dr and length dx oriented coaxially with the pipe as shown in the figure. The volume element involves only pressure and viscous effects, and thus the pressure and shear forces must balance each other. Okay, you can see in the image pressure and shear forces must balance each other. The pressure force acting on a submerged plane surface is the product of the pressure at the centroid of the surface and the surface area. So, a force balance on the volume element in the flow direction gives 2 pi r drp bracket complete x minus 2 pi r drp bracket complete x plus dx plus 2 pi r dx r into r minus 2 pi r dx pi r plus dr is equal to 0, which indicates that in fully developed flow in a horizontal pipe, the viscous and pressure forces balance each other. This equation dividing by 2 pi dr dx and rearranging, we will get r into px dx minus px divided by dx plus r pi r plus dx dr minus r pi r divided by dr equal to 0. So taking the limit as dr dx tends to 0 gives r dp by dx plus dr phi divided by dr equal to 0. So substituting equation, we get lambda is equal to minus mu du by dr, and taking mu is equal to constant gives the desired mu upon r into d dr in bracket r into du by dr equal to dp by dx. The quantity du by dr is negative in pipe flow and the negative sign is included to obtain positive values of tau. Okay, or du by dr is equal to minus du by dy, since y is equal to capital R minus small r. Rearranging and integrating twice gives u in bracket r equal to 1 divided by 4 mu in bracket dp by dx plus c1 in r plus c2. So you can see in the image force balance, and simplifying we can get dp by dx is equal to 2 tau w divided by r, that is dp by dx is equal to minus 2 tau w by r. Writing a force balance on a volume element of radius r and thickness dx, a slice of the pipe gives dp by dx is equal to 2 tau w divided by r. Here tau w is constant since the viscosity and the velocity profile are constants in the fully developed region. Therefore dp by dx is equal to constant. You can see in the image. Okay, force balance is equal to pi r square p minus pi r square in bracket p plus dp minus 2 pi r dx, tau w is equal to 0. So by simplifying it, dp by dx is equal to minus 2 tau w divided by r, we can get. So the velocity profile u in bracket r is obtained by applying the boundary conditions, that is du by dr equal to 0 at r is equal to 0, because of symmetry about the center line, and u is equal to 0 and r is equal to r, the no slip condition at the pipe surface. So we get ur is equal to r square minus r square divided by 4 mu in bracket dp by dx into in bracket 1 minus r square upon r square bracket complete. So therefore the velocity profile in fully developed laminar flow in a pipe is parabolic with a maximum at the center line and minimum 0 at the pipe wall. Also, the axial velocity u is positive for any r, and thus the axial pressure gradient dp by dx must be negative. That is, pressure must be decreased in the flow direction because of viscous effects. Okay. The average velocity is determined from its definition by substituting ur and performing the integration. It gives the equation v average is equal to 2 divided by r square integration 0 to r ur r dr. Okay, so by substituting and solving it, we get the equation v average is equal to minus 2 divided by r square to the limit 0 to r integration r square divided by 4 mu dp by dx in bracket 1 minus small r square divided by capital R square into r into dr, which is equal to minus r square divided by 8 mu in bracket dp by dx. Combining the last two equations, the velocity profile is rewritten as ur is equal to 2 into v average in bracket 1 minus small r square divided by capital R square bracket complete. This is a convenient form for the velocity profile since v average can be determined easily from the flow rate information. The maximum velocity occurs at the center line and is determined by substituting r is equal to 0. So u max is equal to 2 into average velocity, that is 2v average. So after completing this, we are going to start pressure drop and head loss in the pipes. Okay, pressure drop and head loss. A quantity of interest in the analysis of pipe flow is the pressure drop, that is delta P, since it is directly related to the power requirements of the fan or pump to maintain flow. So we note that dp by dx is equal to constant, and integrating from x is equal to x1 where the pressure is P1 to x is equal to x1 plus L where the pressure is P2 gives dp by dx is equal to P2 minus P1 divided by L. Substituting this into the velocity average V average expression, the pressure drop can be expressed as laminar flow delta P is equal to P1 minus P2 which is equal to 8 mu L V average divided by R square, which is equal to 32 mu L V average divided by D square. Okay. Then pressure drop due to viscous effects represents an irreversible pressure loss, and it is called pressure loss delta PL. To emphasize that it is a loss. Pressure drop is proportional to the viscosity mu of the fluid, and delta P would be 0 if there were no friction. Therefore, the drop of pressure from P1 to P2 in this case is due entirely to viscous effects. In practice, it is found convenient to express the pressure loss for all types of fully developed internal flows, laminar or turbulent flows, circular or non-circular pipes, smooth or rough surfaces, horizontal or inclined pipes, as pressure loss, which is equal to delta PL is equal to F into L divided by D into rho V square average divided by 2. Then where rho V square average divided by 2 is the dynamic pressure and F is the Darcy friction factor, also called the Darcy-Weisbach friction factor, F is equal to 8 tau W divided by rho V average square. For fully developed laminar flow in a circular pipe, solving for F gives circular pipe for laminar gives F is equal to 64 mu divided by rho into D into V average, which is equal to 64 divided by Reynolds number Re. This equation shows that in laminar flow, the friction factor is a function of Reynolds number only and is independent of the roughness of the pipe surface. Okay. In the analysis of piping systems, pressure losses are commonly expressed in terms of equivalent fluid column height called the head loss, that is small HL. Okay. So noting that fluid statics delta P is equal to rho GH, and thus a pressure difference of delta P corresponds to a fluid height of H equal to delta P divided by rho G. The pipe head loss is obtained by dividing delta PL by rho G to give head loss, which is equal to HL is equal to delta PL divided by rho G, which is equal to F into L divided by D into V average square divided by 2G. The head loss HL represents the additional height that fluid needs to be raised by a pump in order to overcome the frictional losses in the pipe. The head loss is caused by viscosity and is directly related to the wall shear stress. You can see in the image V average, delta PL, pressure loss and head loss. Delta PL is equal to F into L divided by D into rho V average square divided by 2, and head loss HL is equal to delta PL divided by rho G is equal to F into L divided by D into V average square divided by 2G. Once the pressure loss or head loss is known, the required pumping power to overcome the pressure loss is determined. Okay, so W pump L is equal to V delta PL is equal to V rho GHL equal to MGHL, where V is the volume flow rate and M is the mass flow rate. Okay. The average velocity for laminar flow in a horizontal pipe is equal to horizontal pipe V average equal to P1 minus P2 brackets into R square divided by 8 mu L, which is equal to P1 minus P2 into D square divided by 32 mu L, which is equal to delta P into D square divided by 32 into mu L. Then the volume flow rate for laminar flow through a horizontal pipe of diameter capital D and length capital L becomes V dot equal to V average into AC, which is equal to in bracket P1 minus P2 into r square divided by 8 mu L into pi r square, which is equal to P1 minus P2 bracket complete pi d 4 pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L, which is equal to delta P into pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L. So pressure loss and head loss are the laminar flow for the inclined pipes we are going to discuss about. You can see the images, the pipes which are inclined. Okay, so relations for inclined pipes can be obtained in a similar manner from a force balance in the direction of flow. The only additional force in this case is the component of the fluid weight in the flow direction, whose magnitude is Wx. So Wx is equal to W sin theta, which is equal to rho GV element sin theta, which is equal to rho into G in bracket 2 pi r dr dx bracket complete into sin theta, where theta is the angle between the horizontal and the flow direction. Okay, you can see in the image. Theta is the angle between the horizontal and the flow direction. So the force balance now becomes 2 pi r drp into x minus 2 pi r drp into x plus dx plus 2 pi r dx tau into r minus 2 pi r dx tau in bracket complete r plus dr minus rho into g in bracket 2 pi r dr dx into sin theta equal to 0, which results in the differential equation mu divided by r into d divided by dr in bracket r into du by dr, which is equal to dp by dx plus rho g sin theta. Following the same solution procedure, the velocity profile can be shown to be u into r, which is equal to minus r square divided by 4 mu in bracket dp by dx plus rho g sin theta bracket complete into in bracket 1 minus small r square divided by capital R square bracket complete. So it can also be shown that the average velocity and the volume flow rate relations for laminar flow through inclined pipes are respectively V average is equal to delta P minus rho G L sin theta a bracket complete into delta square divided by 32 mu into L, and V dot equal to in bracket delta P minus rho G L sin theta bracket complete into pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L, which are identical to the corresponding relations for horizontal pipes, except that delta P is replaced by delta P minus rho G L sin theta. Therefore, the results already obtained for horizontal pipes can also be used for inclined pipes, provided that delta P is replaced by delta P minus rho G L sin theta. So note that theta is greater than 0 and thus sin theta is equal to greater than 0 for uphill flow, and theta is less than 0 and thus sin theta less than 0 for downhill flow. Okay, so in inclined pipes, the combined effect or pressure difference and gravity drives the flow. Gravity helps downhill flow but opposes uphill flow. Therefore, much greater pressure differences need to be applied to maintain a specified flow rate in uphill flow, although this becomes important only for liquids because the density of gases is generally low. So horizontal pipe V dot equal to delta P pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu into L, and for inclined pipe V dot equal to delta P minus rho G L sin theta into pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L. So when uphill flow theta is greater than 0 and sin theta is also greater than 0, and for downhill flow theta is less than 0, so sin theta is less than 0. So let's take one example for flow rates in horizontal and inclined pipes. You can see the images and the angle plus 50 degrees and minus 16 degrees. Horizontal pipe and inclined pipes has been shown. Okay, so angle is theta is plus 15 and minus 15 has been shown. So oil at 20 degree centigrade, that is rho is equal to 888 kg per meter cube and mu is equal to 0.800 kg per meter into second, is flowing steadily through a 5 centimeter diameter 4 meter long pipe. So diameter is 5 centimeter and length is 40 meter. The pressure at the pipe inlet and outlet are measured to be 745 and 97 kilopascal respectively. Determine the flow rate of oil through the pipe assuming the pipe is horizontal, the inclined 15 degree for upward and inclined 15 degree downward. Also verify that the flow through the pipe is laminar. So we have to calculate for three different conditions and we have to find out or verify the flow through the pipe is laminar. So solution, the pressure readings at the inlet and outlet of a pipe are given. The flow rates are to be determined for three different orientations and the flow is to be shown to be laminar. So we have to take the assumptions. First, the flow is steady and incompressible. Second, the entrance effects are negligible and the thus flow is fully developed. So third, the pipe involves no components such as bends, valves and connectors. It is straight line. The piping section involves no work devices such as pump or a turbine. These are the assumptions we have to make. Then properties. The density and dynamic viscosity of oil are given to be rho is equal to 888 kg per meter cube and mu is equal to 0.800 kg divided by m into s respectively. Okay. So analysis, the pressure drop across the pipe and the pipe cross sectional area are delta P is equal to P1 minus P2 is equal to 745 minus 97 is equal to 648 kilopascal and AC is equal to pi d raised to 4 divided by 4 is equal to, by putting the values, d is equal to 0.05, we can get the value AC is equal to 0.001963 meters square. So let's start with the condition first. The flow rate for all three cases can be determined from V dot is equal to delta P minus rho G L sin theta into pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L. So putting the values where theta is the angle the pipe makes with the horizontal, for the horizontal case theta is equal to 0 and thus sin theta is equal to 0. So therefore V dot horizontal is equal to delta P pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L. So by putting the values of all the coordinates and the units, we can get the value V horizontal is equal to 0.003111 meter cube per second. Then second case, for uphill flow with an inclination of 15 degree, we have theta is equal to plus 15 degree. And we have the formula V uphill equal to delta P minus rho G L sin theta pi d raised to 4 divided by 128 mu L. So putting the values of all coordinates, we get the value equal to 0.00267 meter cube per second for uphill. Okay, and for the third condition, for downhill flow with an inclination of 15 degree, we have theta is equal to minus because it is a downward. Okay, so downhill flow. So and for V dot downhill we get have the formula delta P minus rho G L sin theta divided by 128 mu L into pi d raised to 4. So putting the values in that formula, we have V dot downhill we get the 0.00354 meter cube per second. Okay, so the flow rate is the highest for the downhill flow case as expected. The average fluid velocity and the Reynolds number in this case are V average is equal to V dot divided by AC equal to, by putting the values of V dot and AC we get the value V average is equal to 1.80 meter per second. So Reynolds number Re is equal to rho into V average into D divided by mu. By putting the values we get the Reynolds number Re is equal to 100. Okay, which is much less than 2300. Therefore the flow is laminar for all three cases and the analysis is valid. Okay, Then second example, pressure drop and head loss in a pipe. So we have the image, a horizontal pipe, okay, length 30 feet, water at 40 degree Fahrenheit, rho is equal to 62.42 lbm divided by ft cube, and mu is equal to 1.038 into 10 raised to minus 3 lbm divided by foot into 6, is flowing through a 0.20 in, that is 0.010 feet diameter, 30 feet long horizontal pipe steadily at an average velocity of 3.0 foot per second. Okay, so determine the head loss, the pressure drop, and the pumping power requirement to overcome this pressure drop. So solution, the average flow velocity in a pipe is given, the head loss and the pressure drop and the pumping power are to be determined. Okay, so assumptions we have to make: the first, the flow is steady and incompressible; second, the entrance effects are negligible and thus the flow is fully developed; third assumption is the pipe involves no components such as bends, valves and connectors, it is a straight line. Okay, so properties we have in the formula, in the problem: the density and dynamic viscosity of water are given to be rho is equal to 62.42 lbm divided by foot cube, and mu is equal to 1.038 into 10 raised to minus 3 lbm divided by foot into second respectively. So analysis for the first condition: first we need to determine the flow regime. The Reynolds number is Ra is equal to rho into V average into D divided by mu. By putting the values in that, we get the Reynolds number is equal to 1803, which is less than 2300. Therefore, the flow is laminar. Then the friction factor and the head loss becomes F is equal to 64 divided by Reynolds number. We can get F is equal to 0.0355 and HL, that is head loss, equal to F into L divided by D into V average square divided by 2G. By putting the values, we can get head loss is equal to 14.9 foot. Okay, so B, condition B, noting that the pipe is horizontal and its diameter is constant, the pressure drop in the pipe is due entirely to the frictional losses and is equivalent to the pressure loss. So delta P is equal to delta PL equal to F into L divided by D into rho V average square divided by 2. By putting the values, we can get value delta P is equal to 929 lbf divided by foot square, which is equal to 6.45 psi. So in the third condition C case, the volume of flow rate and the pumping power requirements are V dot is equal to V average into VAC. So it's equal to V average into, in bracket, pi d square divided by 4, which is equal to AC. So putting the values in that formula, we get V dot equal to 0.000236 foot cube in divided by second, and W, that is pumping power requirement, equal to V dot into delta P. By putting the values, we can get pumping power equal to 0.30 W. Okay, therefore the power input in the amount of 0.30 W is needed to overcome the frictional losses in the flow due to viscosity. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you my. In this lecture we studied about the head loss, friction, okay, for the laminar flow in inclined pipe and in horizontal pipe. Okay, thank you very much.